Tension here in the studio. The score currently stands at 0-0. Nedum Onuoha and Richard Dunne here to get into that first half. Richard, it was quite a tense affair, and I mean, no goals, and there wasn't too many key highlights really. Are we seeing kind of two teams very much on the same level coming up against each other?
Yeah, there's obviously there's a lot riding on it for Liverpool if they lose the game, so you can see the intensity in their play. It started off, Man City's pressing was brilliant, and both sides were showing almost their qualities defensively in terms of winning the ball back, but going forward it's been difficult for both sides to create much space to get the opportunities to score.
Who do you think out of the two managers is happier going in at half time there, Nedum?
I'd say Klopp's happier, to be honest. I think although there was a penalty for City, I think Liverpool have had the better opportunities. You know, they've had more people in and around the box and so on, and they feel like they've got a bit more of a threat. I think Robertson's had the chance to put a few crosses in. Trent Alexander-Arnold's putting a few crosses as well. So you can say that's promising. But then I suppose being a City fan, the good thing is, City can do more. So I expect a better performance in the second half. And I think if that comes, then I think they should have enough tools to win the game.
Question for you both. I'll begin with you, Richard. Though, speaking of City can do better, what do you think we can be doing better after that first half performance?
I think defensively they've done well. They've done their job midfield. They've won the ball back well. I think going forward, with Phil Foden playing that central role, I think when he comes out, the two wingers have stood basically on the line and very seldom come inside. If he's to drop deep, I think that's when they create the space that the two wingers have to run in behind, and they're the ones that can create the threat with the speed. But at the moment, he seems to be up there on his own. The front men are holding their width on the pitch, and we're not getting that opportunity to get the ball in behind Liverpool. So possibly if they change that and try and get Mahrez and Sterling to be more, like he says, does with other players, invert them a little bit and get them attacking from wide areas, it would create more problems for Liverpool.
And from that kind of the wingers is where we got the penalty from with Sterling. It was the tackle from Fabinho. I mean, it was a penalty. But what is it with Manchester City and penalties, do you think,
Oh my
Nedum?
goodness gracious me. I think everybody who was sitting on this sofa as someone stepping up to take the penalty, there was just a little nagging doubt in the back of your head. And that is a shame, because I think Sterling did exceptionally well to win the penalty. And it's a big moment in the game.
Yeah.
You score that, it goes to 1-0, Liverpool have to change their ideas a little bit, and City will have more confidence. And it's a shame. But as to piggyback on something Richard said before again, if Phil Foden or whoever's going to play the false nine, it only works when you have people higher up who have a threat in behind. Because otherwise a false nine just turns into a nine who's just dropping off deep for the opposition if there's nobody else that's higher than them. And I think that's where it felt like City struggled that half, because defensively, yes, they were good. They swarmed around in certain areas. They committed to put bodies in the box. Every shot was contested. Every cross was contested. But you need an outball, and because at the end of the day, it's not just a game of possession. You have to create chances, and I think that's the best way for them to do it.
If we were looking to then try and maybe shape or maybe do a slight tweak to that City team at the moment, what do you think then do you move maybe Foden to the left and bring Sterling more in the middle, or would it be an introduction of Jesus, do you think? Or?
It is tough. It is tough, but I think those are good problems to have, because you have players on the bench who can come in and make a significant difference. But the players on the field, everyone on that field is capable of winning the game for City here today. And I think if you maybe put Foden out to the left, perhaps you lose a bit of him in the game as well. And then maybe you lose that one-on-one nature that he wants for Sterling against Trent Alexander-Arnold. So it's tough, but I just feel Pep, for me, I don't think he has to tweak much tactically, but he can get a bit more out of the players and a bit more understanding of what they're supposed to be doing. And I think if they do that at half-time, that'd be great.
And getting more out of the players. Richard, have we seen a little bit of the weight of Anfield, so to speak, on the players? It just, because from the form we were coming into the game, we do look like a slightly different City side, and I know it's Liverpool and that, but it does feel like there's something about when we get into that stadium.
To just jump in before the weight of Anfield is only based on the team itself on the field, because if it's a bad Liverpool side, it makes no difference if they have 50,000 or 1 million people.
Yeah.
Like Liverpool in this moment in time playing this particular style, which has obviously been progressive because they've won a Premier League and finished second, and they've won a Champions League. So there's something about the way that they play. So they are a good side. And the weight of Anfield isn't a thing, but the way that Liverpool play as a side, and they obviously have confidence because they don't lose to City that often whenever they're in Liverpool. And, at the end of the day, whether you're on a bad run or so on, Liverpool have a gold badge on their sleeve.
Yeah.
So if you step out on the field and you don't have that confidence of somebody who's earned that, but there's no point playing.
And they're going to punish it, absolutely. I'm a little bit dread to ask this question. I want to ask it, are we missing Kevin De Bruyne, do you think, in after the first 45 minutes?
Always, regardless, even if you're winning 3-0, you're still going to miss him because he is so good. But I think you have to look at the last 10 or 11 games when the form has been so good. Man City have played against sides who have set back and defended as a group of 10 almost, and they've played the games not to lose or to try and keep the score down. Liverpool want to win, so Liverpool are a good side, and they'll come and they'll put pressure on Man City, and they'll be brave enough to go and tackle people and take the ball off them high up the field. So it's more difficult for City to get into those creative positions, but they still have within the 11 that started that game a side capable of winning the match. It's just, it's not about missing De Bruyne, it's about trying to get further up the field almost and sustain those attacks, because at the moment it's possession and we get forward and we lose the ball and it comes back and you start again. Trying to sustain those attacks and keep them pinned back for longer periods will then eventually open up the spaces that they can take advantage of.
And off that, if we're aiming for that and maybe a little bit further into the half, who would you maybe look at bringing on, do you think, Nedum, or is it tough to call at the moment?
It's tough to call again. I think overall the players are putting a shift in, but it just feels like there needs to be more of a threat in behind. And whoever you can either bring on or just give a little clue to do that on the field now, I think it will be significant. Because having the nice bits of play in and around the centre of midfield, but then not really having something which looks like an end product, that's always going to be an issue. And I think City look their best, not necessarily when they're moving it side to side, is when there's that injection of speed, which tends to come out wide or something like that. So if they can find more moments like that, then I think they'll be fine.
So do I, fingers crossed. Before we get ready to get into the second half, a quick word on Mystery Blue. So we were showing you players we do each show, each week, and we ask you to guess who it is. Now, Richard, you were kind of straight in with who you think it might be. Who is your guess? We won't reveal the answer now, but who is your guess for the Mystery Blue?
I guessed Nicholas Jensen.
Nicholas Jensen, the fullback. Okay, nice. And did you have a guess, Nedum?
Do you know what? Now he said that, I quite like that.
You quite like that?
And Richard Dunne is our captain, is our leader, so I'm going to follow Richard Dunne.
And I do too. And my dad actually texted Al Berkovic was his guess. So I think that is possibly, I'd need to see it again. But we'll get into that at full time, and hopefully we'll be getting into a Manchester City win. Come join us at full time. Oh, can we see it? Yeah, we can. Go on, we'll quickly show you the Mystery Blue before we go. Just got it in my ear there. Okay, so Nicholas Jensen is the guest in the studio. And it's a tough one. My dad was Al Berkovic. Okay, you saw the hashtag there, WNRH. If you think it is someone other than Nicholas Jensen, get it in, and we'll be looking at that at full time. Go get yourself a brew, quick breath, still 0-0. We can still do this. We'll be back at full time. Come join us.